Your subconscious mind. Our brain is a decent scientist. We can gather evidence, look for irregularities, form theories explaining our observations, and test those theories. However, our brain is actually a fantastic lawyer. Let's start with a conclusion that we want to convince others of, and then seek evidence that supports it, while also attempting to discredit evidence that doesn't. Our brain is designed to be both conscious seeker of objective truth and unconscious, passionate advocate for what we want to believe. Together, these approaches are what create our worldview. And the interaction of your conscious and subconscious mind requires a similar interaction between the corresponding system of nerves. So the cerebrospinal system is the organ of the conscious mind, and the sympathetic system is the organ of the subconscious mind. Our subconscious minds and cerebrospinal systems are responsible for things we are aware of or that we control in our bodily experience. They are the navigator or the captain of a ship, and they have a will. They are responsible for conscious mental action, such as speech and musculoskeletal movement. They accept stimulus and provide input from the environment. They are also responsible for the thoughts or seeds that are planted into our minds. Our subconscious minds and sympathetic nervous systems are responsible for things about our bodily experience that we are unaware of or that happen without us actually having to think about them. They have no will, only respond to the stimulation you give them. They do not argue with you, and they cannot take a joke. They are the men in the engine room of the ship that do not know where they are going, and they just follow orders from the captain. They simply accept all suggestions as true orders. They're responsible for breathing, digestion, heartbeats, circulation, processing and accepting stimulus, and storing memories. They are the soil in which the seeds of thought are planted. Now keep this in mind. It is the repetitive thoughts that create beliefs and guide your behavior. So our subconscious minds are also always constructive. It builds your body and maintains all of its vital functions. It is on the job 24 hours a day and never sleeps. It is always trying to help and preserve you from harm. Your subconscious speaks to you in intuitions, impulses, hunches, hints, urges, and ideas. And it's always telling you to rise, transcend, grow, advance, adventure, and move forward to greater heights. Basically, it's always moving lifeward. So you will get a reaction or response from your subconscious mind according to the nature of the thought or idea you hold in your conscious mind. The suggestion has no power in and of itself except if you accept it mentally. You must be sure to only give your subconscious mind suggestions which heal, bless, elevate, and inspire you. The suggestions of others in themselves have absolutely no power over you except the power that you give them through your own thoughts. You have to give your mental consent. You have to entertain the thought. Then it becomes your thought, and you do the thinking. Now remember that you have the capacity to choose. Now let me explain this in a different way. According to the cognitive behavioral model, when a life event happens, whether it's something going on in the world or other people or personal experiences, we have thoughts about it. We are not in control of the thoughts that pop into our heads. What we are in control of is the thoughts that we focus on. Whether we decide to assign meaning to that thought and what that meaning is, that is always our choice. We may assign healthy or unhealthy feelings and emotions to it, and may feel physical sensations such as shaking, dizziness, or even heart palpitations. As a result of this, we'll begin to take either constructive or self-defeating actions through our behaviors. Our behaviors result in outcomes that cause us to have more thoughts about that event, which can become a cycle. Now, these cycles are what shape our beliefs about ourselves and about the world. Our beliefs are the best conclusions we've been able to come up with based on all of the information or facts we've been presented with. No one goes out of their way to believe wrong things. We just do the best that we can. However, if we are in control of our emotions via emotional maturity, we can take control of how we conduct ourselves from day to day. If we can take control of this, we can take control of other areas of our lives. Now remember that we are always free to choose, but we are not free from the consequences of that choice. It is crucial that we become experts in our thinking and develop the wise habit of challenging ourselves. Now, where this becomes a problem is when we have negative beliefs rooted in our subconscious from childhood, which is when most of our learning about life and the way the world works occurs. So, let's imagine for just a moment if you had parents or people in your life whose opinion you assign great meaning to, who constantly told you you would never amount to anything, that you can never do anything right, that you were worthless, and that you would never be good enough at anything. You would probably grow up continuously believing that you are worthless and could never do anything right and yada 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 because you gave meaning to those thoughts that have been repeated to you by people you gave power to. No wonder your life isn't working out the way you want it to. You have no confidence in yourself because no one was confident in you. What's even worse is that no one told you that you didn't have to accept their opinions as their own. On top of that, not only do you have a replay of negative thoughts, but you also have negative emotions around these thoughts. We learned earlier that emotions are chemical responses. The more frequently we flood our system with negative thoughts that make us feel bad, the more frequently our system creates an imbalance in the chemicals that make us feel happy, such as serotonin and dopamine.